Hey everybody, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a quick note about the audio quality of this week's episode. We were all recording remotely this time due to social distancing, due to quarantine, due to, all that stuff. So there's a little bit of a delay throughout the entire episode. Towards the end, we lost one of our members completely. Luckily, we had a little bit of audio spillage, so we were at least able to get the most important of his lines in there. But we did the best we could. We're sorry it's not so great audio quality wise, but we hope you enjoyed anyways. We still had fun watching the movie and talking about it. Hopefully you do too. All right, thanks. So here is the Phantom episode of Harmless Phosphorescence. What is this? A podcast full of women? It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Everyone, this is Throat Smiley, and gosh, I look pretty in these woodsy flannels. Today I'm joined by...
I'm Josh Cece. It's happening here, now.
I'm Brian Lesh, out of the frying pan and into the fire.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'd like to sell you some Phantom insurance.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and then we tell you all about it. This week, we are coming to you a little bit differently than normal. We are not recording this together due to social distancing and general coronavirus badness. We are recording this separately via Skype, so we'll see how this goes, guys. Hopefully it all works out. And this week, we are watching The Phantom.
Just take a look around. Darkness rules the earth.
In a dangerous world.
Governments crumble. Chaos reigns.
In a treacherous time.
There is opportunity in chaos.
Evil is a fact.
We shall succeed where they have failed.
Drax is on a quest for a supernatural power. They know far too much.
And courage.
Stop them. You're the only one who can.
Is a phantom.
That guy.
Somebody I already killed.
There are some who say it is only a myth. Soon they will discover Phantom is real.
The Phantom. It was released June 7th, 1996, with a running time of 100 minutes, a budget of $45 million, box office of $17.3 million. Mwah, mwah. It did not do well. But that means it is time for us to play the top 10 box office game. We are going to all see if we can guess where this opened its opening week. Josh, we're going to start with you. What guess do you have as to where this opened?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to go with 8.
Josh has 8. Brian?
I'm going to go 3. 6.
Al says 6. All right. So, opening the week of June 7th, 1996. At number 10, we've got Flipper. at number,
all right.
Yeah, at number 9, The Arrival. Number 8 had The Birdcage. That one I saw in the theater. Number 7, Spy Hard. Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
And at number 6, The Phantom. Al got it.
Nice.
Snap.
6.
Number 5, we have a movie called Eddie, which I have no idea what that is. Number 4, Dragonheart. Number 3, Twister. Number 2, Mission Impossible. And opening up against The Phantom at number 1, we have The Rock.
Oh, The Rock. I was thinking of Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, The Rock. That was very popular, oddly.
Yeah, that was a big one. The Rock did well. The biopic about Dwayne Johnson.
That early in his life.
When he is
And his neglected brothers, paper and scissors.
The Phantom did indeed start not as a movie, but in other forms. Al, do you have anything to tell us about that?
I sure do. So The Phantom is an American adventure comic strip, first published by creator Lee Falk in February 1936. Lee Falk also created another highly popular comic strip, Mandrake the Magician. Which began before The Phantom in June 1934. The Phantom featured its titular main character, a costumed crime fighter operating in the fictional African country of Bengala. And I'm pretty sure I read that originally it was in Asia.
Well, I have a question. Yeah, when I looked him up, it said he was an African hero or legend, but everything about it, including that name, seems Far Eastern, Indian or Pakistan. Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Right. It's reminiscent of Bengali.
Right. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And in the movie, they spelled it B-E-N, but in the comics, it looked like it was B-A-N, Bangala.
There's a silent gala.
Yeah. At any rate, so the first artist and the co-creator was Ray Moore. In the strip, the Phantom is the 21st in a line of superheroes dating back to 1536, when the father of British sailor Christopher Walker was killed by pirates. Swearing an oath on the skull of his father's murderer to fight evil, Walker began the legacy of the Phantom, which would pass from father to son. Nicknames for the Phantom include the Ghost Who Walks, Guardian of the Eastern Dark, and the Man Who Cannot Die. And I imagine all those names sound really awesome in Bengalan.
In the ancient language of
Bengalan.
It sounds like a Lord of the Rings character or location. Bengalan.
The Phantom has no superpowers, relying only on his strength, intelligence, and the myth of his immortality to aid him in his fight against the forces of evil and guns.
Yeah, don't forget the guns.
So many people do.
He has two signet rings. The skull ring, which he wears on his punching hand, we see a lot. His right hand is his dominant punching hand. The other ring he uses to mark people that he favors. It's a sign of his protection.
So you can get a good punch or a bad punch.
Yeah, exactly.
You decide. And apparently a brand on the neck, right?
Yeah. Either way, you're getting punched.
This is a little side note, and I understand people at home can't see it, but I worked at a video store when this came out, and one of the promotional items was a Phantom ring. Can you guys see it?
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's crazy.
Did you have one? That's so cool. I wear that everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes I slide it on my pinky just so people know I mean business.
Do you punch people with it?
Not professionally.
Let's see. His birth name is the 21st Phantom. His birth name is Kit Walker. In the comics, the 21st Phantom, Kit Walker is married to Diane Palmer, whom he met when he studied in the United States. They were married in 1978, our time.
1978, our time. in their time, how do they measure that?
Well, on Mars, it was still the groovy 60s.
Yeah, he might still be back in the 40s or something.
Oh, okay, I see.
Comics timeline.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Never advanced into modern times.
Gotcha.
It said what he studied in It didn't say which college, but it mentioned a town of Clarksville. So
with only one train.
I found there's a Clarksville, Tennessee with Austin PA State University. Austin, PA. So, I don't know. It's a weird word. There's also Clarksville, Arkansas, where the school is the University of the Ozarks.
They're really into moonshine and incest.
Yeah.
You can double major.
I don't know if you've been through the Ozarks, but it's nothing but porn stores and churches. Just all the way through.
Just one after the other.
Yeah, next to each other.
You know, if someone opened up a double porn star or porn store / church, they would really clean up.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, I'd rather not talk to God right now. I need a few minutes.
A confession booth on the way out.
So the Phantom had a trained wolf named Devil, a horse named Hero, and he lives in the ancient Skull Cave. The Phantom is the first fictional hero to wear a skin-tight costume, and the first to wear a mask with no visible pupils. The creator, Falk, he said he was inspired by Greek statuary, Greek busts that didn't have pupils. Sculpted into them. Yeah, the old Greek busts. But apparently, originally those statues were painted. So they were painted with pupils, and the paint wore off with time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first skin-tight costume, first mask with no visible pupils. The Phantom costume, the Phantom was printed in a lot of different countries, and it wasn't always purple. In Sweden, his outfit was blue, and in Turkey, his outfit was red.
Whoa, that'll blend in the jungle.
Well,
Right.
well, just go to the Skull Cave if you're looking for him. All right, go on.
Over time, the newspaper strips have been reprinted in comic book form by Ace Comics, Harvey Comics, Gold Comics, King Comics, and Charlton.
All fine names in comics, which have held up through the years.
They're all brands of
Charlton.
Yeah, brands of cigarettes is what they sound like.
Yeah. You got a free comic when you purchased a carton.
Of Charlton's?
Yeah.
Isn't that what Bond smoked? No, those were Chestertons.
Oh, right. Yeah.
DC published a Phantom comic book from 1988 to 1990. Marvel Comics published several Phantom titles between 1987 and 1995. In 1948, there was a 15-episode movie serial released by Columbia. There were 2 animated series, one in 1985, Defenders of the Earth, which also featured Flash Gordon and Mandrake the Magician. And between September 94 and March 96, Phantom 2040, featuring the 24th Phantom.
Ooh, futuristic.
Let's see. So, Kit Walker, after he got married,
Settled down, had some kids.
Oh, he didn't settle down. He did have kids. They had 2 kids, Kit Jr. and Eloise. They were twins. And I believe I also read, so I stated earlier that it passed down from father to son, but sometimes it was the daughter who took up the mantle of the Phantom.
Ooh. Interesting.
So forward thinking.
In World War II, the Phantom became extremely popular among the tribes of Papua New Guinea. And we can see the Phantom's image is often painted on ceremonial shields and other tribal art.
So the skull itself? Or just like
his face.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, here's a man wearing latex.
And
You take a good look.
Tell us what you
He's
think.
somewhere in the jungle. You don't know where. He's behind you.
He's dressed in bright purple.
And he lives in a skull cave. Find the one shaped like a skull.
How much hiding of his identity does he need to do in that one jungle? Like,
For real.
Obviously, he told that horse.
yeah.
Finally, the daily comic strip and the Sunday strip are still running to this day in newspapers.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's still going.
That's crazy.
They can't even afford to print the news that we need to know.
But the Phantom's still going strong.
Phantom's still going.
All right.
It's been a while since I've seen the Phantom in newspapers. I don't really get the newspaper anymore. Used to mostly just get the Sunday paper when I was a kid. My family did. I remember reading the Phantom.
Yeah, I remember it existing. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's thank you very much, Al.
You're welcome. Happy to oblige.
So that brings us to the movie itself. The Phantom was directed by Simon Windsor, who also directed Quigley Down Under.
Nice. I love that movie.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little quiggly down under.
Harley Davidson.
There's a cream for that.
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Free Willy, Lightning Jack, Operation Dumbo Drop, Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, and The Young Black Stallion. So yeah, that's oh boy, that's a filmography there. All right. It was produced by Alan Ladd Jr. and Robert Evans, a couple of legends in the field there.
Yeah, they made Chinatown and the Godfather movies.
Yeah, Alan Ladd produced Star Wars.
Yeah, right. They call him Laddie, actually.
What's Star Wars? Anyways.
Well, let me explain.
Well, maybe we should do a series about that.
Yeah.
This was.
Let's not.
Yeah, it sounds like it would. It sounds like it would take up a lot of time and be really tedious.
We did it already. It took 17 takes.
Say we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 17. Jiminy Jillikers has no meaning anymore. This was written by Jeffrey Boehm, who also wrote The Dead Zone, Inner Space, The Lost Boys, Funny Farm, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapons 2 and 3, The Witches of Eastwick, and a bunch of episodes of The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
We've had a lot of Venn diagrams with these people. Yeah, Briscoe County. There was another one just now.
Yeah, there's been a ton of crossover in a lot of these. It's almost like Hollywood's a small town.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have this in your notes, Throw, but Bruce Campbell was in consideration for this role.
I saw that. I actually don't think I made a note of it, but yeah, I think that would have been a really interesting choice.
Oh, it would have been much better.
Yeah. I love Billy Zane just because he's Billy Zane, but Bruce Campbell would have been infinitely better in this role. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Which does bring us to the cast. Billy Zane, of course, as Kit Walker / The Phantom. His first two screen roles were Back to the Future and Critters.
The first Back to the Future?
Yeah, he was one of I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was one of Biff's gang members.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, he was also in Back to the Future too. Dead Calm was his big breakout with Nicole Kidman, who we talked a little bit about that in Batman Forever. His very first starring role was in the 1990 independent film Megaville. In 1990, he was in The Memphis Belle. He He played John Justice Wheeler in a few episodes of Twin Peaks. He was in Tombstone. And then after The Phantom, he was in a little flick called Titanic.
Yep.
Yep. Women and children, huh?
Yep. That's
Women, children, and Zanes.
And Billy Zane.
I'm going to Zane ya.
Because I'm insane.
In the Mem Zane.
You forgot his greatest role, though.
Which was?
Zoolander.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
He played himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, although his greatest role might have been in January 2017, where he appeared as gold-colored Colonel Sanders in a series of KFC commercials to promote Georgia Gold Honey Mustard Barbecue Chicken.
I missed that.
Holy shit.
Watching this movie, he looks like the guy from, what is that band? Fallout Boy.
Oh, yeah. Adam something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Davidson?
Adam Still Your Girlfriendson.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Dude, for real, though.
That guy.
But yeah, the eyeliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bone structure in his face and everything. He's jacked in this movie, too.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He prepared to be in a spandex suit for an hour and a half.
Yeah, he was ready.
Well, have we seen a fat Billy Zane? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen him overweight.
But I would pay to see a fat Billy Zane after seeing him as ripped as he was in this movie.
I'm going to go down to the Roundstad Center and get a fat homeless guy and then be like, look, I found him.
I'll give you money.
I'm not going to do that.
I'll give him money. You don't need the money. He needs the money.
All right.
Billy Zane does. If you find Billy Zane, let him know.
If you find Billy Zane.
He's the gold-colored Colonel Sanders. I mean, he could use a few bucks, I'm sure.
It's hard to run.
Pay him in KFC.
It's hard to run in solid gold.
Solid gold.
He showed
Colonel
up.
Sanders.
In 2017, he showed up in DC's Legends of Tomorrow as P.T. Barnum.
Oh.
Wow. That's a great choice.
On what show?
Legends of Tomorrow.
P.T. Barnum was a character in Legends of Tomorrow?
Well, yeah. On one episode, they travel in time.
Oh, okay. I guess Mark Twain was in Star Trek, so I guess it's fine. We've got Treat Williams as Xander Drax.
Oh my God, Treat Williams.
And how?
Yeah. I was the substitute. I know what I'm doing.
Right. His big breakthrough was in the 1979 musical film Hair. He was in Once Upon a Time in America, The Late Shift, 24 Hours, Dead Heat, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. He cameoed.
Oh, yeah. He was crazy in that movie. Things to Do in Denver. It's almost worth it just to see him. But anyway.
Yeah. He had a cameo in The Empire Strikes Back as a rebel soldier.
Yeah.
On the Echo base.
Yeah. We've got original Buffy, Christy Swanson as Diana Palmer. We talked about her a little bit previously. So we're not going to delve too deep into her.
Obviously, this was after Buffy, but yeah. Anyways,
yeah. Buffy was kind of her peak pop culture relevance. Let's see, Catherine Zeta-Jones as Sal. So Catherine Zeta-Jones, her screen debut was in a French-Italian film called 1001 Nights in 1990. She achieved pretty big success on British television, starring in The Darling Buds of May from 1991 to 93. However, she was afraid of being typecast as a television star in Britain, so she moved to Hollywood. And this was her Hollywood debut.
This was
The Phantom was her Hollywood debut. This was her big movie American film breakout role.
I loved her in this. The writing wasn't amazing, but I thought she played this role fine.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, she did Buffy after this? Or this was her major?
We're talking about Catherine
Zeta-Jones.
Oh, sorry. Zeta-Jones. Yep.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. So after this, she was in the CBS television miniseries Titanic, which came out in 96 before the movie.
Wow.
She starred in that opposite Peter Gallagher and George C. Scott.
What a cast.
I know. I want to watch that now.
Yeah, for real. I'll watch anything with George C. Scott in it, man.
So let's see. So Steven Spielberg saw her in Titanic. This is like the fifth time Steven Spielberg saw somebody.
Yeah, the Kingmaker.
Right.
Did he watch Titanic at a bar mitzvah? It was just on in the background.
He's like, that's the only place I read scripts.
He was at Catherine Zeta-Jones's bat mitzvah. She was like, I'm 27. Why am I having a bat mitzvah?
It'll get you a gig.
And I'm Latina.
It's the only way to get Spielberg's eye.
I should be having a quinceañera.
So he recommended
at 27
a 27 era.
I dance in it. I've been in many quinceañeras.
So Steven Spielberg recommended her to Martin Campbell, who cast her in The Mask of Zorro in 1998. Then she was in Entrapment, The Haunting, Traffic, America's Sweethearts, Chicago, Intolerable Cruelty, Ocean's 12, The Terminal, No Reservations. She kind of took a break after that for a while. She hasn't been in a whole lot in the last 10 years.
I think there was like her husband had medical issues or something. I think that's why they both took some time off. Yeah,
Mr. Michael Douglas. Yeah,
they're both named Michael Douglas.
That's right.
He got throat cancer, and for reals, he claimed that it was from performing oral sex so often. On Catherine.
Fucking Michael Douglas. Jesus Christ.
He had to release that statement.
Yeah, that was definitely a press release. I remember that.
He calls his lawyer. He's like, take a note of this.
Her pussy killed me.
We've got James Remar.
He's still alive.
Yeah, no, he's doing fine. He was just in Endgame.
Yeah. Right.
We've got James Remar as Quill, who was Ajax in The Warriors. Albert Gans in 48 Hours. He was in The Cotton Club, Miracle on the 94 remake of Miracle on 34th Street. He was in Sex and the City for a while, and he was also in the show Dexter. Let's see. We will see him again in Judge Dredd. I'm sorry, not Judge Dredd. We won't be doing Judge Dredd. In Blade Trinity and X-Men First Class. He's also been in Django Unchained and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Currently, he's on the CW Black Lightning.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Did anybody notice that there... Oh, go ahead, Al. Sorry.
He plays Peter Gamby. I think it was Peter. He's sort of a surrogate uncle to the family of Black Lightning. Now I can't remember his name.
Did anybody notice there was a character named Quill and a character named Drax?
It was driving me nuts the entire time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I did. Yeah.
I was waiting for some Gamora reference or something in there.
Or Groot. Yeah. Just bursts in.
They were in the jungle, so a lot of trees.
The horse's name was Groot.
He doesn't even say that. I am Groot.
The wolf's nickname was Gamora. I'll take it.
Patrick McGoohan as the Phantom's dead father. He was let's see. He was best known as for the British television series Danger Man.
Not Danger Mouse. That was a British cartoon.
Yeah, no, Danger Man, in which he played a U.S. Secret Agent, and The Prisoner, which he co-created. He was in a ton of British movies throughout the 60s and 70s. He was in Scanners, Braveheart, and A Time to Kill. We have a ton of people who are like haven't done much else. We have Radmar Agana Zhao as Goran, who was also in Minority Report. He was in did some work on TV, Seinfeld, Will and Grace, Dharma and Greg, ER. Then we've got Robert Colby as Captain Philip Horton, Kerry Hiroyoko Tagawa as the Great Kabai Sang.
The great
Kabai Sang. Yes, which that is specifically his name, because the original Kabai Sang was the evil Kabai Sang.
Yes, it was.
Bill Smitrovich as Dave Palmer, Casey Semesko as
Bill Smitrovich.
Casey Semesko as Morgan, David Proval as Charlie Zeffro, Joseph Ragno as Ray Zeffro. None of these people have much going on outside of this. They all have, and there's a lot of people, so I'm kind of just running through them. Al Ruscio.
Well, I wonder if they were comic strip characters that they just sort of stuck in here and there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they were.
From the Phantom comic strip, yeah.
Veteran character actor John Capodice as Al the Cabbie. John Tenney as Jimmy Wells, and Samantha Eggar as Lily Palmer. This was, in fact, reviewed by Siskel and Ebert.
The Phantom is another action picture I'm giving a mixed review to, and I've already outlined my split opinion. Hated the Phantom, laughed at the Phantom, but I liked Treat Williams in some of the action scenes. The direction of my thumb is down because of the bottom line. I'm not interested in seeing the further adventures of the Phantom.
Oh, Gene, I really love this movie, and I like the way the Phantom looks. The Phantom was created in 1936. He is the first of the comic book superheroes.
Right.
And I think it was very brave of them to keep the look of that 1930 strip instead of trying to modernize like they did with Batman. I mean, Batman's uniform, it looks like he's living inside a tire. You know, the whole klutziness of the fact that the Phantom, when he lands on a truck, he really lands. Doesn't have cat-like grace, is part of the charm of this movie and the look of the film. I mean, I would recommend to people that if they want to completely forget everything about the plot and everything about the story,
which wouldn't be a bad idea.
This movie is worth seeing for the production design by Paul Peters. This is one of the greatest looking movies I've ever seen. The colors, the interiors.
The interior of the Skull Cave is very well done.
What about Drax's office in New York?
That looks
fabulous.
Good, but
it's a good looking movie.
Did you find the Phantom someone that you cared about the least? Really?
I found the Phantom very amusing. I liked the way what Billy Zane did with that. Instead of standing around like some kind of a stick, to give the guy...
I think he's very stiff.
No, to give the guy a personality, a wry humor, an edge.
I don't think he has a wry humor.
Quality of kidding himself a little bit. There's a lot going on there.
I think he's quite stiff, Roger, and that's where my problem was. Every time I saw him...
Well, okay, Gene, I just want to get the bottom line out. It's PG rated. I think it's terrific. They didn't load it up with a lot of extra violence. It's a great family picture, and I just loved looking at it.
Yeah, well, I liked looking at parts of it, the parts when he wasn't on the screen, the Phantom. When we come back, a TV star feels trapped by an adoring fan who works for her mother. Frank Whaley and Blythe Danner star in Homage.
It has 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that's basically where we're at. There's not a lot to say. I know this movie had a pretty big budget for being and it looked good on the screen as far as like what they shot.
The money was spent for sure.
Mm-hmm. It was just terribly written and terribly directed.
Yeah, and it reminds me of all the things I hated about The Shadow. So
yeah, no, it had a lot of that vibe going. Like this and The Shadow both were really trying for like something that The Rocketeer actually succeeded in.
Yeah, that's fair.
But all right, so are we ready to jump in, guys?
Yeah.
Phantom Go.
Well,
yeah.
What was it? Phantom Go.
Yeah. What I couldn't think of anything better.
Neither could they, Al. Neither could they.
Then we'll just do a count off.
All right.
3, 4, 5.
Phantom, go. All right. Here we go. This is The Phantom. We begin with a voiceover explaining the Phantom's origin. In the early 16th century, a young boy witnesses his father's death at the hands of the Sang Brotherhood pirates who attack their ship. The boy jumps overboard and is washed ashore on an island called Bengala, where he's found by local tribesmen who take them to their village. He's given a skull ring, swears to devote his life to the destruction of piracy, and as an adult, adopts the identity of the Phantom.
This just struck me as one of those ads before a movie. You wouldn't steal a car. The Phantom's going to come and stop you. Like piracy?
Yeah.
Really? Was piracy that big of a problem in the 30s?
Right.
Oh, yeah, man. You could buy DVDs right on the sidewalk.
Go to your local taco shop. That's where I always bought my bootlegs, was a taco shop.
Just out the back door.
Literally. There was a table inside.
So this all took place back in 1536?
Yes.
Oh, this was 1536.
Yeah, the original Phantom.
Yes. There was actually a piracy issue.
Yes.
I mean, for the Dutch.
Actual
Before they
pirates.
could sail off their island.
Not movie pirates, but like golden boat pirates.
Golden boat.
They're stopping us from stealing all this bounty from all of these people that exist around the world.
You wouldn't download a galleon, would you?
I'm kind of pro-piracy in the 1500s, you guys. I don't know. I don't know. Pro-piracy, anti-colonialism.
Right? Yeah. So
then again, they were also like stealing slaves and killing them. So piracy's bad.
it was a complex issue.
We finally
I want to be for the Phantom, but I'm not 100% for the Phantom.
Hot take of the day.
He's a cop.
We cut to 1938. A group of white guys are exploiting indigenous child labor while they treasure hunt for an artifact shaped like a skull. They end up tying their child guide up in their truck after he gets them across a rickety bridge, and then they loot a treasure cave.
They make that kid drive across the bridge.
Yeah,
messed up.
Yeah, that was really messed up.
And it didn't look like a car bridge.
No, I don't think it was meant for cars at all. And so the Phantom mostly hangs out in this jungle. Like, how much crime and piracy comes to this one island?
Right. Yeah.
So the Phantom and his pet wolf get some sort of supernatural tip-off about their activities and show up to beat them up and save the kid from falling into a ravine with the truck.
He literally just says, someone needs our help. So first of all, I was confused about what powers he actually had, but does he has this like sense when someone's in danger?
Yeah, I don't know. He never used it again, if he does.
Right.
So the looters, they heard drums in the distance. And I was under the impression that the Phantom heard those same drums, and those were like the Phantom signal.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes, yeah. All right.
So it wasn't supernatural. It was just some
just
dudes
heard
in the jungle with drums.
The drum line was marching through the jungle. He's like, shit, it's my call. I gotta go dance.
He races over there, and it's just a gathering of the Rainbow family. Just in a drum circle.
It's like, I've told you guys about this. So the head white guy Tomb Raider gets away with the skull. Meanwhile, another bad guy is captured by the British, who are doing British things in the jungle. The aforementioned colonialism.
Making steak and kidney pie.
Right. Back at his hideout, the Phantom is doing research while his manservant rubs his shirtless body with oil. He discovers that the stolen skull is one of three, and when they're all brought together, they'll give great power to whatever evil white guy is trying to get them. He also
They're a super group like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Get all three of them together, magic.
that was the super group.
Until we get to the third act. Because there's a fucking MacGuffin that nobody mentions.
Right.
I will say it glows in the title sequence.
Yes.
When they cast the original ring, it starts to glow. But nothing else is pointed at that.
Huh. Yeah.
Bothered me.
Huh. Yeah. Actually, there weren't really any hints other than that.
Yeah.
So he figured.
I had to watch it twice.
Oh, wow. I did not watch it twice.
That was a sacrifice.
So he figures out that the bad guys were from the Singh Brotherhood, the same bad guys from the prologue. He's visited by Ghost Dad, who tells him that it's really bad that the skull is now in the hands of the Singh Brotherhood because they're extra special evil bad and will do bad, evil, bad things if they get all three.
Yeah, it's like his King Hamlet moment.
Yeah.
Like always singing his dad to get advice. Or Jedis. I guess they do that.
So do the skulls, you did some research, Al, do the skulls have any inherent powers on their own? Or are they just, you got to get all three of them together? It's like, one golden girl isn't really the golden girl.
Yeah, right. Like Ringo doesn't matter, but if he's not up there, it's weird.
Yeah. Is there any, because there's they're different, a silver, a jade, and a gold one. Does one have healing powers? Or are they all just fucking laser beams?
I didn't get that deep into the lore.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, I can imagine. So we cut back to the States where Diana Palmer arrives home to her uncle and aunt's mansion on the night of the big charity ball. She's been in.
So the set for the Palmer Mansion is actually the Playboy Mansion.
Whoa.
Oh, the set. Yeah. Wow. I bet Billy Zane was a frequent flyer.
Diana's been in the Yukon. Xander Drax arrives, but Uncle Dave is not happy to see him. Dave has been using his newspaper to investigate Drax. Drax threatens him. Jovially.
I love that it's always just random charity event, quote, quote.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if it was real life, we would have solved all of our problems now. Just the amount of charity balls in these movies.
There are so many charity balls.
We should just put signs up to say that and be like,
and rich people will show up, and then crime will take place that the superheroes at the balls will have to rush away to.
All right.
Later that night, in a private meeting with the mayor, Diana, and the police commissioner, Uncle Dave reveals that Drax is connected to the Singh Brotherhood and is looking for supernatural power to become some sort of fascist dictator. He was planning on going to the jungle himself, but didn't think he can turn his back on Drax. Diana offers to go in his place. So Uncle Dave sends Diana because he doesn't want to turn his back on Drax, but he does absolutely no useful thing having to do with Drax after this point.
Oh, none.
No.
In fact, Uncle Dave does nothing useful.
Yeah, no, nothing. Well, he's Uncle Dave, Yeah. He has cookies when you come over. He'll do yard work for you.
Good old Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
Throws a mean party.
Yeah. He's always drinking a beer, hanging out at the grill while your dad grills.
Yeah. Tells you what's wrong with women.
Unbeknownst to Uncle Dave and Diana, though, the police commissioner is reporting back to Drax.
So many commissioners.
I know. Police commissioners and everything.
Yeah.
The police commissioner is apparently the most important thing you can be.
Right.
If you're not a superhero.
And you're always accessible.
Yes. Police commissioners do all the work of the police. I don't know what the chief is doing, but the commissioner is really got a lot to do. The next day, Diana leaves for the jungle by plane. Her movements are tracked by Drax's men. Drax kills a light. Oh, yeah.
The previous night, when. Oh, wait. The Dr. Fleming, the library guy, was called into Drax's office.
Yes.
And he got the microscope spikes.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Drax kills a librarian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Drax kills a librarian whom he suspects of leaking his borrowing history with the booby-trapped microscope.
That was forensics back in the day. Can we see what books he took out?
Yeah.
That was crime fighting. But that the telescope eye jab thing, that's pretty ingenious. That was some cold-blooded.
Yeah, that was rough. Meanwhile, Diana's plane is forced down and boarded by some sexy Eurotrash terrorists who demand she hands herself over. Luckily, the Phantom's chest oiler is also good with electronics, and he gets word over the shortwave about the incident.
Man can't live on chest oiling alone. We all know that.
Well, and he asks him if he's listening to like soap operas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is it real? Look, what's really happening out there?
And I know we're past it, but it was so alarming to see a white horse just come out of a jungle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what?
It can't be a great place for a horse to ride through.
And again, why is the Phantom just protecting this one jungle? I know this particular Phantom goes to New York, but I don't get the feeling that most of the Phantoms do.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Is he stopping people from collecting the skulls? Because he only has one.
Right.
I guess you only need to protect one because they don't have inherent power themselves.
So actually, I'm fairly certain that it's common practice for the older Phantoms to have left because they got to go to college somewhere or something. That was
and they have a child.
At least when
but then when they
start becoming a thing.
But when they become the Phantom, they're based on this island, which is in the middle of nowhere. So if like something bad's happening, say in France, it's going to take them. It's going to take them like weeks to get there after they hear about it.
Well, how can you stay in Skull Cave once you've seen Grand Prairie? Hard to keep them down on the farm.
Well, I mean, you do have your own personal chest oiler.
That's true. Why go to France?
and pay for your chest to be oiled when you've got the cow back home. So the Phantom visits the British outpost, and the captain who he's friends with tells him that Diana has been kidnapped. He seems to know who she is, and he leaves to rescue her.
So there was it was almost like a Batman Commissioner Gordon vibe between the two. I'm not talking about the movie commissioners that we've looked at so far, but like the Batman animated series. Batman was always like coming in through the window and surprising Gordon.
Right, or disappearing in the same way. Yeah.
And then disappearing, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that totally. So then Sala, the sexy kidnapping aviatrix, and low-rent bad guy Indiana Jones take Diana to their base, which is on a boat docked on Bengala Island. Lucky for the Phantom that's where the bad guys have their base.
Yeah. And there was it's the Brotherhood of that seems to be the only gang here, buddy.
Right. Well, and it seems like only that one dude's in it. Like just Quill. And then later on, we find the rest of them who haven't been out of their cave for 200 years.
It's like a weird fraternity that, they're doing their reunion just on accident.
Just on accident.
Like, oh, hey, shit, I'm from that same group.
That would be the worst
I don't
way.
know how fraternities work.
That'd be the worst way to have a high school reunion.
Right. So the Purple Greendale Community College human being does some light child psychic handling.
He's the ghost who walks. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Purple
ghost who walks. Okay, so that outfit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I understand they wanted to make him look like the 1930s comic strip, but why did they want to make him look like the 1930s comic strip? That was ridiculous.
Well, and he was black and white. I'm not sure when, 3-color, 4-color printing happened in the funny pages, but originally he was in black and white, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, in old comics, they'd often make people purple who really they were trying to just make them look like they were in some sort of blacker than black outfit.
Right.
I'm not sure when it started, the Sunday strips being printed in color, but that's when he would have been depicted purple. Right. Whenever they started. Yeah, whatever year that was.
It was a ridiculous outfit. Truly ridiculous.
Yes.
So he arrives at their hideout, and then he and Wolf sneak inside while Sala and Diana talk about shoes. He takes a wrong turn into the showers, but ends up in the hostage room where he trades some very forced banter with Sala, gets kissed, and then disarms her. Diana knocks her out and does some even more
because
forced
Mama
banter.
said knock her out.
Right. And then they leave as alarms go off.
And he had felt the need to tell her this is a rescue.
Yes.
And
It's not an assault.
but she's pretty dismissive. She says, like, thanks, you've done a good job. I can take it from here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
brassy. She has like a Katharine Hepburn thing going on. African queen.
Again, they're clearly going for like the sassy banter, but it feels really forced.
It falls
really
short. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got when they report to Quill, there's this exchange. There's a man on board in a purple suit. No, it can't be. Is it Prince? Is it?
Yeah.
The Joker?
So Al,
He wears a purple suit.
I guess they debuted in 1935, so he probably was in color.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks for...
So, thank you, Josh. They make their escape from the boat with the help of Wolf and flee in a biplane. The baddies give chase in a truck and on horseback. Apparently, the Wolf can speak horse, which is good because Horse and Wolf can also run as fast as an airplane can fly.
And that truck. And that other horse. There was a lot of people moving the speed of flight, which is like 80 miles an hour for something like that.
And the wolf and the Phantom's horse were even faster because they kept up with the plane. The others had to catch up, even though it wasn't by much.
And
and at one point, they outrun it.
Right.
And the plane catches back up with them.
That's right.
now,
Blocking was an issue here.
I totally recall the scene where the wolf and the horse are staring at each other as if they're talking, but we didn't hear anything, right? But
Then the horse nods like, oh, yes, I see what you're saying.
The dog is like, once I'm able to find carrots, I'll give you one.
It's also co-written by Jack London or something.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Or Eddie Murphy, I guess. Dr. Doolittle.
Oh, God. So they unnecessarily crashed the plane. So they were running out of fuel, but instead of simply just landing the plane, he decided to just let it crash into
On that long field.
that long field, which went on for a long time.
Any landing is a good landing if you're not a wuss.
Right.
Well, it's a seaplane. Did it have wheels?
I mean, you could still slow it down and set it down in some grass.
Yeah.
I mean,
let it slide.
But I mean, it's not as cool looking as jumping from a fucking toboggan to a horse.
You are right. Brian is right.
It's like straddling it the whole time too. I don't know. It's just a weird look.
He was attempting to fake his own death.
Was that what it was? Because that's actually that would have been a good takeaway from that. Is like the goons being like, "Shit, they didn't."
Well,
make
I've
it.
been trying to.
Let's steal the guy.
I've been trying to fake my own life for quite a while.
You and me both, Josh. You and me both.
So the chase resumes on horseback as the car is crashed, but the Phantom and Diana are helped by the rope people.
Yeah,
and get
what was
away.
that? I don't understand that at all.
Because they lived, all their village stuff was made out of rope.
Like so many civilizations, including now.
Right.
We've never gotten over rope. Anyways, yeah.
They were not Ewoks.
There's the Bronze Age, the Rope Age.
Ropage.
Whoa. Don't talk about my fetishes like this, guys.
In list form. All right, the rope people, they're like, there's not a lot we can do, but do you need any rope?
We could tie that knot tighter.
So they adjourn to the Skull Cave where the Phantom gives Diana a pearl necklace.
We said the same thing. We were watching it.
A black pearl necklace.
A black pearl necklace. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah, he needs to see a
You
doctor.
should see a doctor.
And then the British show up. She tells them.
You can pick any point in history, and that's applicable.
Right. Yeah, and that's when shit starts to go wrong. The British show up. So she tells them about Drax. The Phantom is worried since Drax is part of the Sang Brotherhood, and the Phantom tells the captain to take Diana home and protect her. She's not too keen on not being part of the plan. And she definitely does not recognize Billy Zane. Who is Billy Zane in that suit is still like obviously Billy Zane,
right.
Even much more than any of the Bruce Waynes or Batman. Like I can see that, but this is like super like, oh yeah, that's Billy Zane.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't bring it up at the time, but this is an African legend, right? Even if it looks like it's India or whatever, he's African, right? He's supposed to be African?
Well, I mean...
Or do they get away with it because it's an island?
I mean, he was shipwrecked, so maybe they had indigenous African phantoms, but then White Boy came and became Phantom and passed it down to his kids.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Couldn't have been a black
that's
guy.
a whole other thing. It's implied that there was maybe a Phantom before.
Yeah, I think so.
But there wasn't really a Phantom to give him Phantom powers, the original Phantom. But there have only been 20 Phantoms. So this is a real like white savior Phantom versus the indigenous Phantom.
Exactly.
There are different kinds of Phantoms.
Yeah, there's the Broadway star Phantom.
To give it like a really helpful interpretation, realistically, I think that there were no Phantoms before, and white people came to save these indigenous peoples of this island.
That's totally plausible, but he is sort of dark complected, not to that degree, but it makes me wonder if like find the best leading man that could pass as darker.
Well, and I wonder if possibly, and this is just my thought on that, was maybe his father made a life in that mountain cave and fell in love with a woman native to the island.
It's true.
Maybe that's a very gracious and forgiving interpretation of this. I feel.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
it's like an old British guy.
Yeah, because I mean, do we believe? Yeah, because otherwise we have to believe that every single one of these 20 Phantoms left the island, found a wife, had a kid, came back to the island, made him the Phantom.
So it's like the Dalai Lama. You know, you get a title, but you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Billy Zane, he didn't have to. I mean, he grew up in the States. He didn't go to Bengala until 6 years prior.
Well, I mean, I have to assume he was born there or something. His dad was the Phantom there first. Like,
well, and you're correct. That's how the film is explaining it. I'm just saying it seems like a Hollywood, thing.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a Hollywood thing.
No, but you know the way Jewish individuals used to play Native Americans when there were plenty of Native Americans to hire. So I thought it was that kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
you want representation? We'll give you our best, which is terrible.
Yeah, which is really, really bad. Back in New York, Sala and generic bad guy in a fedora deliver the Silver Skull to Drax, who is happy about that, but less happy that Diana escaped. Quill tells Drax about the Phantom, informing him that he killed him once, but he's back again. Sala is jealous and tells Drax that the Phantom is in love with Diana. Drax isn't worried, though, because the Phantom is so far away in a jungle. We irony cut to Billy Zane getting out of a taxi in New York. He tips the cabbie well above 30% and goes to visit Uncle Dave's paper. Meanwhile, Drax has
There's a pocket full of jewels.
Yeah, which he gives them all away. Is he out of jewels now? What if he needs to tip someone else?
That's a Spin Doctor song, right? Pocket full of jewels.
That was the album.
Right.
It was a song too.
And a hit Broadway musical.
The title of the song was Jimmy Olsen's Blues.
Oh, snap, Al. You're
the
right.
Title of the album.
Laying
title
down,
of the album was Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Laying down the Spin Doctor's knowledge.
Somebody has to.
I'm here to doctor the spin.
I was still wearing Velcro shoes, and that album came out. You guys, I still wear Velcro shoes. But
yeah, why would you ever stop? Yeah.
A spin doctor is where you take your little kid when it's just been spinning in the front yard too long. Got to get the brain checked.
So meanwhile, Drax has an evil board meeting. He explains to his gang of mafia bosses and crooked police commissioners that there are 3 skulls. He has one and knows where the second one is. When he gets
just like the Joker and just like Michael Corleone and like that scene, everyone around the table.
Oh yeah.
If you're that ruthless, why have a fucking meeting? Just take everybody out.
Well, yeah, and he shows them a film strip and then waits for them all to applaud.
That was from The Rocketeer too. Let me show you this film.
Right. So when he gets all of the skulls, he's going to be all powerful with evil dark magic. Godfather Ray doesn't think it's a good idea, so Drax murders him and tells the guys it's time to procure the second skull immediately, even though it's been in the museum for months, if not years.
Right.
He murders that guy with a spear.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like he has experience murdering people with spears.
Yeah.
Right? How did he know he was going to...
He was like a college javelin guy on the track team or something.
Well, he was He was a real Jay Peterman kind of vibe. He's been all around the world.
So Ray, when he objects, he says, "This is wrong. Skulls, forces of darkness. I was an altar boy. I believe in guns."
Yeah, because I was an altar boy.
Like any good Christian mafioso.
Like, I'm a Catholic. Do you think I'll put up with this mystical fairy tale type symbol? You know, I'm a Catholic. It's just Mary, Jesus, and about 1 billion saints for me.
And that's it.
That's it.
So Kit rushes off to his... wait. So yeah, Diana arrives at the paper, brushes off reporter Jimmy's advances, and is ushered into her uncle's office where her old college boyfriend Kit is waiting. Kit bears an uncanny likeness to the Phantom, both in appearance and demeanor, but luckily Diana has that chronic superhero movie face blindness. They discuss Drax and his silver skull, and Jimmy reveals he's seen a jade version at the Museum of World History.
What was with the other boyfriend? I just got to ask because he was clearly upset that Billy Zane was in the picture, all that stuff. Was he trying to flex about a child's birthday party that he had more than a decade ago?
I think so.
And if his parents are buying him a floor of the museum for a birthday within the last decade, that's more pathetic.
Yeah.
As a former museum employee, I know the people who rent museum spaces for their birthdays, and they are not grown men. They are grown men renting them for their children. Anyways, that was just a weird thing. He's like, well, I do remember my parents buying me a party once. I don't know. Just a fucking weird line to shove in there. Right? But now we know where the skull is. Moving on.
Yes, exactly. So Kit rushes off in his private taxi, and Diana invites herself along. They reminisce. Diana complains that he disappeared from her life, and Kit explains he had to take over the family business. They arrive at the museum.
Family business.
Right. He literally says that, the family business.
Oh, I know, yeah.
They arrive at the museum, and Kit smashes a display and takes the skull, only for it to be immediately taken away by Drax.
They couldn't have thought of a better way to write this goddamn sequence of events.
Yeah. No. Like, this superhero just punches display cases open.
She is saying to him, my father has connections in the museum and maybe we can open the door. And he smashes the glass and goes, and she says, or we could break the glass.
Like,
yeah.
And then there's a man with a gun behind them.
Yeah.
It's fucking Rube Goldberg devices, man. I hate this shit so much.
There's a man with a gun behind him who they didn't hear that group coming up. Like, it's that classic, like, if you're not in my... Like, if you're my peripheral vision, I don't see you.
Right.
But
and it's a museum. It's quiet in there. You would hear that shit from a mile away.
Yeah. They snuck in while the glass was smashing.
Oh, that's true.
that little window.
In those 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the two skulls come in contact with each other and do a Windows smashy light show thing, then shoot lasers to point on a very convenient map where the third skull is. So, like, good thing that map was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if they were in a room without a map?
They need a wayfinder.
That's true.
It still would have pointed to the nearest map. They just wouldn't have been able to see it.
It would have just drawn a map on the wall with its laser fucking powers.
Like,
It would have pulled out its cell phone and shown it to you on
It's like
on
fucking rigging up a GPS.
Google Maps or something.
Yeah.
right.
It should have just been pointed in that direction, and they should have had to follow that shit across the globe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because maps didn't exist when this shit was invented, at least not accurate maps.
No.
Very annoyed by that.
So, yeah, well, but that, okay, so Drax and the crew leave with Kit and Diana, and the taxi guy follows. They arrive back at Drax's place. They do some light body work on them, and then tease Diana about liking a boy. So they take Kit away to beat him up some more in private, and he escapes. Well, meanwhile, Drax is doing some sort of like map coordinate work. What is he doing? He says he has to like figure out where it is and figure out the coordinates. It just shown on a spot
map.
on the map. What is he fucking figuring out?
Well, it wasn't a world map. He had to.
That was
out.
clearly India that the island was underneath.
Yeah.
Like clearly India.
I wasn't paying that close attention at this point.
No, that's how I figured out that he was supposed to be near India rather, because I was trying to like figure out like where in this jungle he was in was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's the point where it's like, oh, well, that's India.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would assume that it's probably going to point somewhere near to where he was from, but either way. So, So Kit escapes from his captors, changes back into his Fruit of the Loom grape outfit, so he can kick their ass more efficiently, which they don't reckon. So the guys are like the Phantoms here. They don't realize Kit escapes and then they're immediately attacked by the Phantom. They do not put two and two together.
Nobody does.
And they never ask where Kit went again.
That's true.
Totally missed that. Yep.
Yeah. So Drax concludes that the skulls are in the Devil's Vortex and decides to leave immediately, taking Diana with him when he's told the Phantom's in the building. So just after leaving the crooked police commissioner in charge of killing the superhero. The Phantom manages to escape the building. He finds a horse and gives chase to Drax's car while himself being chased by motorcycle cops. He manages to lose the cops in the zoo where he's picked up again by Mr. Taxi Guy. Then, meanwhile, on the ride, Sala and Diana get into some really catty bickering.
Yeah.
Kit in the Yeah.
Diana wonders out loud why Sala is so mean.
Why are you so mean?
Why are you so mean?
Yeah.
You're such a bully.
Yeah.
We never really get an answer for that. And then later on when she turns good, she's just like, I was bad. Now I'm good.
Yeah. I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair.
Right? It's girl power. Yeah. That's what it was. In the taxi, Kit talks to his dead dad again, learning that Quill murdered him. He catches up with Drax and the gang at the waterfront, where they're taking a seaplane to the Devil's Vortex. The Phantom jumps on and hangs on to a pontoon for the entire flight.
Yep.
So I did a little bit of research. To fly to India in 1938 from New York City took 7 to 8 days.
What the hell? Could you imagine that?
They would have had to have landed multiple times and stayed the night in places and then flown again. Or if not stayed the night, at least landed and refueled.
Wow.
Multiple times. Much less having a dude hang on to the pontoon for 8 days. So they land at the secret island in a secret lagoon and row a boat into a secret cave where they're greeted by Sang Brotherhood pirates. The Phantom watches on secretly. They're brought before Kabai Sang, the leader of the Sang Brotherhood, who reveals that there's a fourth skull.
His name is Kabai Sang?
His name is Kabai Sang.
Yeah,
that might be his title. Or
he must be the boss's son then. If the organization is named after him.
Yeah, exactly. He revealed.
Yeah, this is the great Kabai Sang. And the guy 400 years ago who started it all was the evil Kabai Sang.
Oh, I see.
As Thoreau had pointed out earlier.
Yes, they passed it down father to son, just like the Phantom, but evil style.
Would you like that extra crispy or evil style?
The
Golden
name,
Colonel Sanders.
With his
the name skips a generation. His father was actually like Donnie Sang, but his grandfather was the OK Kabai Sang.
Yeah.
So where have these pirates just been hanging out in this cave for like 400 years? And if so, how are they having pirate children who grow up to be pirates?
Piracy, I guess. Maybe they're just
stealing ships. Well, they do mention that ships disappear there, so I guess they're just stealing women from these ships and having kids, and those kids are growing up to be pirates who then steal more women from ships.
It's a cycle of abuse.
Yeah.
It's the family business, Donnie.
Yeah. You don't ask questions.
So they kill the mafia guy who tries to turn on Drax and then orders the others killed. But then Drax...
Kill him with a cannon.
Yes. They kill him with a cannon. While he's
that is the single best shot in this movie.
He walks up waving his little gun around. They shoot him with a cannon.
They shoot him like 50 feet with that cannon, too. They threw just a dummy across that cave.
He brought a gun to a cannon fight.
He has a lot of time because they say, I'm just saying now we're going to shoot you with a cannon.
Always so much time.
And then they light the cannon, wait for the fuse to go, and shoot him while he stands there agape holding his gun, which he could have been shooting people with.
He should have taken that cannon and gone to Japan and sold it to the emperor because that dude really wanted a cannon.
What he should have done is step out of the way.
That's true.
If he'd moved,
I don't have the same training as you.
His shell.
If he'd moved 3 feet in either direction, he would have been fine. So Drax offers Diana as the Phantom's girlfriend to Kabai Sang as a trade for the golden skull he possesses, and the Phantom appears and the fight begins.
A woman for an all-powerful skull? You got a deal.
During the fight, Drax escapes with his skulls and Quill, and the Phantom ends up killing Kabai Sang via shark. Underground cave shark.
Does he count the skull in his head, his own skull? How many do you have? 3. These 2?
During that fight, Sang, he killed one of his own men.
Yeah.
To engage the Phantom himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He screams out, "My fight.
My fight."
Just be like, you could have just said so.
Yeah.
You should have just called dibs, bro.
It was just like in The Shadow. He totally didn't have to kill his friend, but he did.
No, totally did not. It's at this point that Solid joins the good guys.
After a rigorous application process.
Yeah.
Well, they said to each other, we got to look out for each other. There was a moment in this movie that passed the Bechdel test. And that was the two of them getting out of the boat.
That's right. That's right.
Everything else was them talking about, what's his face?
Billy Zane.
Fucking Billy Zane. But yeah, there was a moment where they got out of the boat and Catherine Zeta-Jones' character looks to Buffy and says, yeah, us girls got to look out for each other. And I just thought, shit, there it is.
That qualifies for sure.
Yeah,
it's
wow.
even empowering.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good for you, Phantom.
But also very thin because all of a sudden she's a good guy.
You can't.
Yeah.
Who has this like villain
Well,
evil
you
fetish
can't be
going
too
on,
nice.
too.
You know, they get ideas.
Right.
He's like, she's like, I'm going to tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
I wanna.
Okay, so the Phantom takes the Golden Skull and puts the girls in a submarine to shoot them to the surface. But before he can activate it, he's attacked by Quill and Drax. This is a good way to get these two characters who we don't want to deal with out of the way for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and that's how they get their booty. Is they are submarine pirates.
Yes,
There's no big pirate ship.
they just
It's
they
just a
shoot
one.
they shoot torpedoes at ships in a submarine. I'm really unclear on why the torpedoes were strapped to the submarine and but they're live warheads. They could go off. So how?
Well, right. I mean, you can shoot torpedoes from a sub, but shooting one at your ship, a ship would just destroy it, and then you get no treasure or crew.
So the submarine comes up underneath the boat, and they cut a hole in the hull and go in through the bottom, sneak onto the boat. Take off.
That's what she said.
Ironically, the movie Titanic is actually just a sequel to this. Billy Zane was playing Kit, and the Sang Brotherhood attacked the Titanic with an
He
iceberg.
was kind of playing Kit, though.
Well, that must have been his father's Phantom because that was 1911.
This ain't
that's
your father's Phantom.
It really is. The Phantom drops the Golden Skull while he and Quill battle, and Drax picks it up. The 3 skulls join together magically and begin shooting laser beams. One that accidentally kills Quill. The submarine that the girls are in begins its very slow launch sequence, and Drax tries to shoot the Phantom with the skull lasers. But the Phantom reveals that the 4th skull, which controls the other 3, is actually his ring. He had the skull power was in you all along.
I kept thinking that it was the belt. That would have been really funny if it had been the belt that the guy had taken
belt,
from the dad. And Billy Zane doesn't realize, that belt is the missing piece of my hero-ness.
I totally thought that's where they were going to go.
Same. Yeah, but the signet ring, he just had it the whole time. What else?
Yeah. He and Drax have a laser standoff. And the Phantom ends up winning, disintegrating Drax completely. When he did that smooth criminal lean forward, it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And then exploded.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
and then the entire place exploded.
For some reason, the entire place starts exploding. Well, I don't know why.
Any goddamn sense.
And Drax, as he's being vaporized, he shouts unbelievable. Really sort of gleefully.
Yeah, it was half a step away from unlimited power.
Unbelievable.
Yep, unbelievable.
What the fuck? So then the submarine launches, the Phantom jumps and grabs onto it, and they're all launched to the surface and safety and watch from the ocean as the entire island explodes like a volcano for some reason.
Was that the most expensive shot in the movie? Was this exploding volcano?
Yeah,
it might have been.
There was a lot to that. Why? Why did the volcano have to explode?
I don't know. Why did the island blow up? It made no sense.
Was it so that the skulls were the skulls destroyed?
Oh, yeah. Did they leave the skulls behind? Okay, I guess maybe.
So that's why the volcano blew up. But are they the source of the Phantom's powers? To hear drums in the jungle or whatever? Or only shoot swords with his guns? I assume that was his other power. He only shot people's guns and scabbards.
There were no
he never
powers,
shot a
right?
person.
Yeah.
There were no.
He showed no powers other than peak human athleticism.
Phenomenal.
Why would you have to have a costume?
The ability to fly an airplane from outside it.
I mean, yeah, he was basically. He was kind of Black Widow level power.
Yeah. He was. What was that guy from Kick-Ass?
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 No, the dad. He was
his name was Big Daddy.
Fuck Daddy or something.
And Hit Girl.
Big Daddy.
Look, Big Daddy, it's regular Daddy.
I don't know why I remembered him as Fuck Daddy for some reason.
That's a different kind of daddy.
I must have watched another version of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
It was on Pornhub, and it was actually called Lick Ass.
I paid a lot extra for that version of it.
Okay, so we cut to the Phantom telling Diana about the origin of the Phantom. He reveals that it's passed down from father to son. Someday his son will take the mantle. He takes Diana out to the beach where Sala is waiting with the plane to take her back to the U.S. His dad at one point comes out. He's like, "You better hit that, son."
And
so that plane, I'm pretty sure that's the plane that they blew up.
It looks like the same plane. Absolutely.
It's
the red plane,
floating seaplane.
There were a couple of those that attacked the plane earlier.
Oh, that
much
makes
earlier
sense.
in the movie.
They
So
must
the
have known
gang just had a bunch of these floating around.
Why did they never take any regular planes? It was always seaplanes.
Well, because everything's on an island, I guess. They flew to the island of Manhattan from the island of, what was it called? Bengali?
Bengala.
Quick stop off at the island of Dr. Moreau.
Tame Impala. The island of Tame Impala.
so if there are no powers, why does this need to be handed down generationally? Like, why do you have to be shouldered with this dumb job if it's not because of your special powers?
Well, I mean, they said that the ring gave him powers, but he didn't display any powers.
Did they say that the ring gave him powers?
I thought they implied that at the beginning.
The other three skulls was how I interpreted it.
I thought at the beginning they were implying that he was imbued with some sort of supernatural powers.
That's true. And the ring did glow. So, I mean, it's fucking weird.
This movie was terrible and confusing.
It looked great, though.
It was, it looked good. It was like Indiana Jones levels of like money thrown at stunts and stuff. But like every instance was terrible. Like Quill yelling at people, "Go on, hurry, go get him!" As they're like running away. It was just terrible. Terribly blocked.
Tie the kid up. Put him in the trunk. Why? Oh, because we now need a kid to be rescued by the Phantom.
Right. So, what is this? A ship full of women?
Yeah. So weird.
Like, what does that even mean?
Right? Yeah. Who gave these dames guns and access to this boat?
Right.
Well, they used to be considered bad
so Diana reveals...
Go ahead.
Women on a boat?
On a ship.
Women were bad luck? I mean, women are always bad luck to me. No offense, ladies.
On a clipper ship. Anyways.
That's what happened to Titanic. So Diana reveals that she knows the Phantom is
let
gay.
Rose on the bridge.
And they kiss. She and Sala fly away, and Ghost Dad, in voiceover, reveals that Diana planned to return and be Kit's wife. Were they trying to tease a sequel?
The domesticated Phantom. Yeah. I don't know. Also, she knew he was the Phantom all along. She's like, "Take off your mask," and he's like, "I can't." She goes, "I know you're fucking Kit, bro. Like, I'm not stupid."
Yeah, she knew.
Has she been hiding that the whole time, or did she just figure it out?
They never hinted towards her figuring it out at any particular point. It's like, because I mean, it's clearly Billy Zane from the beginning. If you knew and dated Billy Zane and then you saw him in the Phantom outfit, you'd be like, "Dude, Billy Zane, why are you dressed up like the Phantom?"
Your physique looks just like my ex-boyfriend's jacked physique. Yeah.
And you're talking in that same like leading 30s leading man kind of way.
Fucking Billy Zane voice. Yeah.
So when he takes his mask off, he says that he can only reveal all his secrets to the woman he intends to marry. And she says, "What if she refuses you?" And cocky bastard is like, "No one refuses the Phantom."
Spooky.
Because I date rape.
Yeah. The Phantom. Questionable judgment.
Gross.
Why was this movie made?
Right. Then the credits roll over like footage of the jungle. They were really made it seem like they were going to have like a mid-credit sequence or something.
Yeah. I kept expecting like him to bump into Tarzan and be like, "Oh, hey, funny seeing you here."
Right. So I mean, that's it.
That's it.
That's the Phantom.
That was fast.
It was
you,
short.
Billy Zane.
It was short. It was fast. It was to the point, and it was bad. much like my love life.
Better than the Shadow, but it was bad in so many similar ways. I don't know if it's just that these 1920s, 30s serials don't translate.
I thought it was kind of fun.
I feel like this could have been more Mummy level of entertainment, and it just kind of fell flat. A lot of the beats just didn't hit well.
They were clearly going for Mummy level. It just never really did it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mummy. This is more like the Rocketeer in that same era.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of a mess.
Yeah, it was a weird. It was like halfway in between wanting to be the Rocketeer and halfway in between wanting to be Indiana Jones. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to say about this. We should just go ahead and rank it.
Did you? I know you used a lot of different phrases to refer to the Phantom through the thing. But did you ever call him Skinny Grimace?
No, that's good.
Save that for the sequel.
That outfit, man, that outfit. Jeez. There was a Phantom television show around the late 2000s that was on for a very brief time.
I do remember that. Yeah.
They updated his look. It wasn't as bad, but he was still purple. It was still kind of weird.
That was a live action?
Yeah, it was live action.
Okay.
It didn't look like it was a very good show. Yeah. So yeah, okay. So again, we have to rank this. So
yes, we do.
I'm kind of looking at starting somewhere around the mid 20s, around somewhere in the Batman Forever Toxic Avenger range.
Yeah. Where's Rocketeer?
Rocketeer is like way
pretty high
up there. Rocketeer's number 9.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Rocketeer was definitely better than this.
There's a lot of space between the Rocketeer and the mid 20s. I mean, yeah, there's, is this, here's a question. Is this better than Meteor Man?
That puts it pretty high up.
It does. It really does. Our ranking system is so flawed.
Supergirl is right above Meteor Man.
Yeah. And above that is Blank Man, then The Return of Swamp Thing, then Buffy.
Ranking movies is hard, you guys.
Is this better than Hero at Large?
God.
Is it better than...
Maybe?
Is it better than Howard the Duck?
No.
Because we said Hero at Large was better than Howard the Duck.
Fuck.
Somehow.
It's true. It's true. Don't judge us by our past.
Somehow Howard the Duck is below Condor Man.
What is below Condor Man?
Howard the Duck.
Oh. How did we do that? You know what? We're going to have to take it.
Howard the Duck was so bad, you guys. It was a bad movie.
It really was.
Just because we loved it doesn't make it a good movie.
Should we list the ones that we've done and get the public's opinion? Or
that's a pain in the ass.
That's a pretty big pain in the ass. All right, so let's just stick this somewhere.
We care what you think, but we're not going to change our votes because of it, you guys. So let us know what you think.
All right, so how about 27? All right, that would put it right below Batman Forever, right above Toxic Avenger. How does...
I'll take it. That sounds perfect for me.
All right, let's do it.
It fits in with its immediate neighbors.
Yeah,
it does.
It's a bad movie.
All right, so there it goes. Number 27, The Phantom. And that means that we are going to be moving on to next week when we watch The Crow, City of Angels.
Oh, man. Already?
Already.
It's going to be so bad.
Wow. It is, but guys, after that is Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Yes.
Oh, getting into the weird shit.
Yeah, we are. And the next like 6 or 7 all look crazy. We've got Crow City of Angels, Sergeant Kabuki Man, Batman and Robin, Spawn, Steel, Orgasmo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me too. But then after that, we start getting into a lot more modern superhero movies. Kind of kicking off with after Orgasmo is Blade. Then we're looking at Blade, Mystery Men, X-Men. We've got Unbreakable coming up then Blade 2, and then Spider-Man.
We've got Citizen Toxie coming up.
Yeah, I skipped that one, but yeah. So things are starting to heat up here.
Right on.
That's about it for us this week. This has been Big Strange Looking Thing on a Horse, Throw Smiley.
And I'm Josh Susi, and I'm here deep in the bowels of this uncharted mechanic island.
I'm Brian Lesh, mysterious, modest, a man in a purple suit.
I'm Alaric Weber. All my pilots are women, and my dog's a wolf. Stay away from bad guys. No Kaliba.
No Kaliba. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Kaliba.
Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.